Hello everyone and welcome to Oxygen Not Included. Today we're gonna take a look at the top right part of the screen, more precisely the vitals, the consumable, and the schedule windows, right? Honestly, there is not so much to talk about the first two windows, so it should go pretty quick. The focus will be more around the schedule window. So with that said, we're going to see the vitals and the consumable windows right away. The vitals windows offer information which are rarely useful, to be fair. Well, in fact, when you look at it, you may wonder how this can be useless. I mean, it tells the amount of stress, the morale, the calories, and even the health and the disease. Everything seems to be important in this panel. The thing is, this panel conflicts a lot with the top left section of the screen. In the top left, you can see at all time the relevant information, like who is in the colony is the most stressed. So right now we can see nobody. Which is usually the only information that you need about stress. Not only that, but if you hover, like I'm doing right now, if you hover the stress icon, you will see immediately all the dupes and their stress value. And if you click on the dupe in the list, the camera will pan directly and center directly into the duplicate that you're looking at, as I said in the part 2. So that's for the stress, not so useful. For the calories, like the fullness eaten today, I mean, yeah, seems important, but like exactly as the stress information is up there on the top left, and it even gives more information. You see, if you go over the icon of the calories there, it tells you exactly how much calories can be consumed by the dupes, and it also reveals what kind of food you have the most. So right now it tells me that I had a nutrient bar at 12,000, while after that is a milk root and meat at last. It doesn't matter how much calories your duplicate had during a day, how much energy he has, because anyway, every end of the day, the dupes are gonna eat. So what really matters is the amount of food available in the colony at the moment. If it falls at 0, or if it's close, so you know that you need to act urgently, or the worst is yet to come. You may say, oh, the miseries, just before starting a new game. Finally, the health and the disease doesn't matter also that much. If you see that some dupes lost some HP or are sick, you should do something to heal them using the triage code. Don't forget that the dupes can recover everything on their own after an excellent night of sleep. But the process is super slow, so you may consider using a triage code to speed up the recovery. To see the triage code, you'll just have to go in the medicine, right there, triage code. It will definitely speed up the recovery, especially because the dupes that are not in super shape will have debuff active on them, and it will be a little less efficient for sure. You need to know that a dupe with less than 85 HP or a dupe which is sick will be slower than usual, depending on the severity of the wound or the heal. But overall, during the play, you should be able to see a dupe that is not fully recovered, as a HP bar will be displayed right beneath this name. And if a dupe is sick, you also see it because it may be coughing, for example. The consumable windows tells what your duplicant can and cannot eat. By default, the duplicants can eat everything that is available, so everything is checked, right? But if you want, you can disable some stuff by checking the proper cell. For example, if you're Rohan, I don't want Rohan to eat meat, I can just uncheck that. So the way it works basically is on the top row, you will see the whole menu offered to your duplicants. As you go and as you expand your colony, you'll discover more receipts, and these will be shown on this top row there. And then you'll have all the duplicants on the first column right there. You can then enable or disable any kind of food for whoever. Notice the new duplicants up there on the second row. It means that all new duplicants that will be printed, it will be affected automatically with the value they're giving there. This window is again barely useful because you have to keep in mind that the dupes will always go for the best food available first. This means that if you have essentially good food in the fridge, they will take that as their first option. Then they will go for the second best, then the third best, and so on. Notice that the pills that are all situated on the right, then it is the best food. So we have here 4 types of pills. And this is the best food available in the base, so it's the mushrooms right now. We can tell because of the morale, right? So this run is as a morale of 0, 0, then -1, -1, -1, -1. So these are like the worst. These are like the best. So what I am saying is that the dupes are smart enough to take what makes the most sense as their first choice, so you don't need to bother with it, honestly. The only reason you may want to disable stuff in this window is if you want to conserve certain type of food for a certain reason. For example, you may want to conserve berry sludge for dupes that are going for a mission with limited resources. Unless there is a really good reason, you should not disable anything there. So let me just renable all that stuff. Alright, so finally we enter the most important window of this video, the schedule window. This allows you to control when one dupe should go to the bed and when he should go to the bathroom. Once upon a time, there was no schedule at all in the game, and at first everything seems to be working just fine. After many cycles, it was apparent though that some mild irritations was making surface and you had little control to deal with that sort of situation. At random times, your duplicant will leave their current errands for going to the bathroom, to eat, or to sleep. And well, the thing is, sometimes you need tasks to be done really quickly. It can be a question of life or death if something is not done now. This window is a solution that the dev brought, so we have a say on when the dupe can leave their jobs. The way it works is that you can paint over a schedule. The schedule contains 24 cells, 1 cell for each hour within the day. You can paint 4 different times: bath time, so bath time, work time, downtime, and bedtime. Bath time is the one that is not extremely useful. It's the moment when the duplicant take their shower or clean the base of the germs. I can see this guy over here, for example. Many will remove completely this from the schedule as it's not important. I personally like to keep it, but I will remove the ability to clean the base of the germs because it's a waste of time. To do this, you want to go in the germ overlay, so you can see we have a lot of germs. You can just, so automatically the dupes will do that. You just do that. Uncheck this, disinfect that, and bada bing bada boom. They will not do it anymore. I will cover this in more depth in further videos. The thing is, the duplicant will take their showers, get a moral bonus by doing so, and will get back to work. So the dupes can work during their bath time if they don't have anything else to do. For the work time, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's when the duplicant are working, so there's nothing else to say beside that. The downtime is the moment when the dupes can go eat and go to the bathroom. The order in which they go to the bathroom or eat first depend on the availability of the bathroom, but typically they like to go in the bathroom first and then they go eat. And right there you can see Ruby then his business and then he's going to eat. Well, yeah, Rowan is doing the opposite because the bathroom was occupied. After these done, unlike the bath time, dupe will not go to work. They will instead go to any recreational room in your colony, and if there is no recreational room in your base, they will go chill next to the printer pod and talk with one another. So you can see over here, they did everything and they're having a fun time there next to the printer pod. Again, unlike the bath time, it is really important to give some downtime to your dupes, because yes, it gives them the time to eat and to go use the bathroom, but it also affects their morale. Keep in mind that morale is something important and downtime is a really good way to get some. In the future parts, we'll cover what is the morale and all the details around it. For now, pay attention that upon adding downtime to your schedule, you'll add plus X moral bonus to the dupes assigned to it. So for example, if I create a new schedule, you can see over here I have a moral of +1 there. If I remove the downtime, the moral goes to 0, and if I give new downtime, I have a little warning there. If I had to 5, yep, got the +4 moral. Notice there's a maximum value of +4 moral. Which is if when you do a 5 hours of downtime, and a minimum value of 0 if you give a single hour. That's kind of the minimal over here. If you want, you can mess up a little by giving 5 hours if you feel like your duplicant should rest a little, or you can remove entirely the downtime from the schedule. Even though there's a warning message, there, you can still affect dupes to these schedule. If there is no downtime, the dupes will simply go eat or go use the bathroom when it will be urgent for them. So basically, if for example my dupes there were not having any downtime, they will continue to work, and when like they're... Oh, that's annoying. So when for example the bladder is full, or like the stamina is very low, they will just go and eat or use the bathroom. But now, how much downtime should you give to your dupes? Honestly, the default value, which is 2 hours of downtime, if I remember another one, is just perfect. It's mostly fine for the whole game even. If you feel like being generous, you can give 1 extra hour, but it's mostly a waste of time. With 2 hours, they will have plenty of time to eat and to relieve themselves, and that's what really matters the most during this time, honestly. As for the bedtime, it's also pretty straightforward. It is the time when the duplicant can go sleep. Just like the downtime, you can remove it entirely from the schedule just by painting it and having a schedule full of work. By doing so, you also have like warnings there. And if you have like no bedtime at all, the dupe will simply fall asleep whenever its stamina meter falls to 0. Over here, stamina. If we put a super long bedtime like this, and I say like I can assign my say Ruby there, the duplicant will go sleep even though like its stamina will be full. This is not a bug of anything, because this means if a new dupe come in with the printer pod in the middle of the night, even though this dupe is having stamina at 100%, he will go to sleep and respect the schedule. This allows the dupes to be in the right track for the next cycle when it will be tired for real. For the most part, 3 hours of sleep is more than enough for your dupes to fully recover the stamina, so the default value is perfect. Also keep in mind that if they don't sleep enough, for example you just give 1 hour of sleep, they will just sleep as long as their stamina reach 100%. Even though like it's the bath time or the work time, they will still sleeping during the work time. As long as the stamina is not reaching 100%, they won't stop sleeping. At the schedule window, you can create as many schedules as you want, and you can assign as many dupes to a schedule as you want. There is simply no limit. You can go on, and right now I have only 3 duplicant, but I promise you can like assign literally an infinite amount of duplicant to a schedule if you want to. Just have to move duplicants there, and that's it. But as I said, the default schedule is good. It's even gold. This schedule gives the perfect amount of time for your duplicant to go eat, to relax, and to sleep, so during the work time, all the needs will be fully met. In other words, the default schedule allows the duplicants to be as efficient as possible. So if I want, I will probably want to assign these guys over here to the normal schedule, right? So why creating schedules then? Well, it's still really useful, because you see, if all your dupes go to the downtime at the same time, it means you need to have a lot of bathrooms ready for them. If you have 5 duplicants assigned at the same schedule, once the downtime arrives, they will all go eat and use the bathroom at the same time. And if one dupe was unable to relieve himself because yeah, the time ended and they went to sleep without, for example, going to the bathroom, it will not be ready for the work time and may not be 100% efficient, because during the work time he will have to quit his job and go relieve himself instead of working. So the schedule is a very powerful tool that takes your duplicants on what they should do during their day. Remember that the default value is literally the best schedule possible, and if you should probably just shift it instead of doing like weird stuff like this, for example. You don't want to have a schedule like that for sure. In a schedule like this, your duplicate will not be fully efficient. They may run across the base more than anything else, or not even working at all. And right there, I have too much sleep time and way too much downtime as well. So what you want to do maybe is just to shift it. So like, for example, I can, for example, just spend this like that and just add one value to everything like this, and then I can assign Ruby to this one. I can assign Rowan to this one, and this guy. Downtime like this, yeah. So 3 hours of sleep, 2 hours of downtime, 1 hour of bath time. Gasman there will take the bathroom first and will eat first, then Ruby, then Rowan. And you can want to do something like this, having at least 3-4 duplicate max to one schedule. So like this, you can only have like 4 bathrooms, and that will be plenty for them. It's also not recommended to give a schedule full of work time, even though sometimes you have to do it, or to give a schedule full of downtime like this. As you progress in the colony, you may maybe give more downtime because it can take a lot of times for your dupes to reach the different rooms that you have. Also, it is fairly possible that all the automation and the bots do all the errands for you, and the duplicate hands are not as precious as it used to be at first. But as I said, 2 hours is more than enough, honestly. Nevertheless, please don't give a schedule full of downtime by any means. I saw that some people are doing this to alleviate the stress, because while they are doing nothing, they are not suffering of any stress. This is a really bad way to deal with the stress. We'll cover the stress in another video, but remember this: if your dupes are stressed, use the massage table instead. It is simply the best way to deal with it, right here. It removes, you can see over here, it removes 3% of stress per minute, so it's very good. So to summarize up, the bath time can be removed, it has no drastic effect. For example, I can have like this. You can see I don't even have any warnings there. Totally fine. Personally, I like having it after the bedtime because anyway the dupe will go back to work once everything is done for them. So if I don't have any showers in the base and I disable the germs there, they will just go back to work. So it's basically the same thing since I have no showers. You can add or remove downtime and bedtime, but the default value is simply the best to maximize the recovers. Just shift them if you need to, as I did there. And this, pay attention to the little gear next to the schedule over here. So yeah, you have also like a little pencil there. You can rename any schedule that you want there. The full schedule, I can say for example Ruby schedule. I can get reset back to the I will not do that, but like I can reset back the shift to its default value. I can remove the schedule, for example over here. Let's do this here instead. So yeah, turn back here to the schedule, the default value. I can delete it, delete that one, and if you want you can add a little alarms as well. So you can enable basically any alarms to any schedule. You can have over here 3 alarms. You can see alarm on. The alarms there has no effect at all on the dupes. It's only a nice audio cue to tell you that different times have started. So for example right there we heard a little sound that was saying like the work time of Ruby was just started. We'll heard another sound when I just said make this a little faster. Yeah, we just heard another little alarm there saying like Rowan is on his work time now. Here is an example of a schedule in a well-advanced colony. You can see everything is a bit shifted there. So I keep my 2 hours of downtime, my 3 hours of bedtime, and 1 hour of bedtime for the most part. I can see sometimes that it is weird like this, depending on what I want to do. You will realize that I am now in the DLC, so you have also the name of the planet on which the duplicant resides, and this helps because you know that the duplicants will not use the same rooms as the other because they are not even the same planet. So that's allow you to keep yourself well organized. That's pretty cool. You can also see if there is somebody with a trait like early bird, for example. You'll see a little icon like this, so So in this kind of situation, you want to make sure like this duplicate will be working when the early time is on. So we saw everything that is to see on the first 3 windows of their vitals, consumable, and schedule. Next video we'll take a look at the priorities windows right there. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy, and as always, take care and see you there. Ciao.